going everywhere. Wait, let's just watch. That's actually pretty cool.
In the alpine regions of Northern Europe, the winter nights are long, and they are very cold, and they require a special type of beer. Something that'll kind of keep you warm, something that will lift your spirits, and also something that will, especially around the Yuletide season, remind you that we all need a reason to celebrate from time to time, especially when the nights are long and cold and filled with dread. Specifically, the dread of the Krampus monster.
Picture of Krampus here.
Krampus. Great idea.
So, a winter warmer beer. Kind of one of the interesting things about this style is that it's not really a style of beer. I think if you dig into the guidelines, which I am not one to do, I actually don't even know if it's inside of BJCP. If it is, I'll list the category right here. But to me, a winter warmer is something pushing 7, 8, 9, 10% ABV. Sometimes they even go a little bit higher than that. It's going to be roasty and toasty and caramelly. Maybe not quite as much as a barley wine. A little bit more of the roastiness and toastiness, but not quite as much as a porter or a stout. The recipe that we've come up with, and the one that we've been selling a lot of these past couple weeks, is kind of based on, I guess, what I would call just like an English old ale, which again is one of those styles of beer that's not really a style, but when you drink one, you know what it is. But the defining element of a winter warmer to me is kind of how you season it, or spice it, or kind of the special Yuletide seasoning flavorings that you add into the final product. Essentially, a winter warmer is a strong barley beer that is then hit with some traditional malting spices, the stuff that you might put in a nice mulled wine or hard apple cider, or maybe even a wassail if you're familiar with like the old caroling drink traditions. We'll kind of just run through a few of our favorite ingredients, and then we'll talk about a few others that you can use if you feel like getting kind of creative and coming up with your own thing. We went primarily with a fresh nutmeg clove and a fresh stick of cinnamon. These are all going to be typically added in secondary. You can add spices during the boil, but for my money, it's a little bit hard to predict the kind of flavor that you're going to get out of tossing, especially ground spices, into the boil. I go with making the beer, getting it tasting really good, and then adding whatever flavorings you kind of want to add into the secondary, letting them sit together until it tastes right to you, and then to go ahead and rack it out and put it in bottles or put it wherever you're going to drink it. So nutmeg and cinnamon are where we started. And then we kind of got a little fun and funky by adding some fresh orange zest. Fresh dried orange zest, I guess I should say. So the opposite of fresh. But geez, when you dry these things out, that like kind of the same way that hop aromas get more concentrated and intense when those hop cones get dried out. With the orange peel, we also added a touch, not much, but just a little bit of Cacao Nibs. And these also just smell amazing. A little bit goes a long way, and we definitely don't want this to taste like a chocolatey beer, but orange peel and Cacao Nibs go great together. And then kind of the fun element was just a few juniper berries. A nice earthy, piney element that you just really can't get from anything else.
Hello.
Smell, man. So that's our blend. We have them pre-measured out and ready to go here at the shop if you just want to come in and grab. Or what we would really encourage you to do is to kind of get a little creative.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, you can smell it. It smells very, very,
I
very
love
nice.
nutmeg. So.
Yeah. That smells like a good way to deal with your family and relatives over the Christmas season. A few other options if you feel like kind of branching out. Some kind of traditionally good mulling spices that we love. Ginger, this is a dried ginger root, or fresh ginger works really well too. Just a lot more spicy flavor, so use sparingly. Vanilla beans, just a classic, 1 or 2 vanilla beans, kind of sliced open, maybe spritzed down with some sanitizer. Somebody did a winter warmer last year with peppermint that was phenomenally good. It was a darker, chocolatier, almost porter. Tasted like Thin Mint cookies. The classic, throw a few coffee beans in there. That's a really, really nice way to kind of add some of that after dinner vibe. And if you want to get very weird and maybe go in the direction of Prairie's Christmas Bomb or something like that, some dried or some fresh chilies. another interesting twist. Maybe that's appropriate for Krampusnacht, to add a little bit of naughty into your... But anyway, those are a few of our general ideas. The best thing you can do is kind of say, ooh, that sounds interesting. Pick and choose from among all those things to make something that speaks to your palate, something that you'll really enjoy. The winter warmers that are done on a homebrew scale, holy shit. You can make such a good beer that is exactly what you want, will sustain you through those dark, cold, desperate, long, ceaseless days of depressing winter. If you want to try our recipe, we'll put a link to it down below, or if you want any advice on putting yours together, leave us a comment. We'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. Any other parting words? Brew something awesome. Cheers.
Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to see which winter spices we used, or in what proportions, I'll put a list down below, along with all the measurements, and I'll put a link to the full recipe kit over at our website. If you are one of the viewers who have been buying our kits online, huge thank you. It really helps us continue to grow around here and to do what we do. If any of you would like to try this one, I've created a discount code Krampus that will save you 15%. Actually, I think off of our entire online store. If you brew it or any of our recipes, keep us posted, tag us on social media, Boy Meets Wort, or use our hashtag, brew something awesome.